Hi, I'm Tony. This is Tapatya, a 31'8" junk rigged schooner Benford Dory. Join us, and along the way we'll show you how we go about turning her into a cruising sailboat and then head off and explore the world's oceans, seas, lakes, rivers and canals. It's a new week, back in the boat shed, which might please some of you. Several things happening. Unfortunately, we were painting the bilges yesterday. We did the first layer of paint on the bilges yesterday, but that's not unfortunate. The unfortunate thing is that I then managed to delete the video that we shot, so there's no video of the first coat of the bilge paint, but we will get to some bilge painting today and we'll show you that. Got a box arrived. This should be a hatch that I want to put in that forward bulkhead, if all is well. A quick shifty, quick butchers at that. See what we've got here. I know the paper as usual, and in here a very well packed hatch. So that must see what happens. Rip it open. Okay, that looks quite decent. We'll go up the front later and try that in place and see what happens. Let's just have a last look at it. This is plastic, black. And that opens like that with a seal in there, so it's supposed to be a watertight hatch. Yeah, probably okay. The screws are all covered by the closing hatch. Should be okay, I suppose. So we'll try it in there later. See what it looks like. It's not too bad. Bilge paint arrived from Bilge. Looks like this. It is light grey, 2-component, mixed up at a ratio of either 10:1 by weight or 8:1 by volume. So I'm mixing it 8:1 by volume. I've got my measuring cups there. Perhaps if we wander up to the front, we can just go and have a look. You can see in there, it's the forward section, obviously, with one coat of bilge paint on it. Covers well, but certainly needs a second coat. Then if you scan round there, you'll see we've started on the next section. I've not painted because I've still got the mast step to go in there. But the two aft of that, well, the one under the water tanks is completely one coated out, and then I ran out of the paint that I mixed up, so I just did what I could in that section. So what we do now is we'll mix up a bit more bilge paint and put a second coat on. Yeah, so got everything ready. Need a roller, of course. Let's reach past you and grab a new roller. And the camera mic, we'll see how it comes out. Good, ready. This paint stinks, so I'm going to wear a mask. Here we go. Okay, I just need to grab a brush off here. Rubbishy brush I do. Through like again. So, let's go do some painting. Roll a little bit first and finish off with the brush afterwards. So in the forepeak, just want to show you what's going on. The bilges under the bed are all painted. This one's painted, with the exception of this one where the mast steps come in. So those bilges under the boards, this front section are painted out. The water tanks are back in, waiting to be hooked up. At the front here, a couple of things happened. I put in this pretty substantial Doug fir board. Fits nicely into the bow there, cut the angles to fit it nice and tight in there, and comes back to the zero bulkhead, the watertight bulkhead. That acts as reinforcement for the bow roller fitting and maybe a cleat on there. So that should be nice and strong. And I've put this hatch in here, as you can see. Looks beautiful at the moment. There is, of course, one little issue with that hatch, and that is that when the forward mast is in place, that hatch won't open very wide, but its main purpose is to allow me to look into this forward section for inspection every now and again. So it will still, I believe it'll open wide enough for me to be able to do that, and certainly on haul outs when the mast's out, you'll certainly be able to get in there and possibly work on that forward section should it be necessary, which I hope it won't be. But yeah, so that's that. I've built up these deck beams, just knock my sunglasses off. Built up these deck beams so that they're flush with the shear clamp all through, and that they run true. I've had the straight edge on there and they run fair and true. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put in two longitudinal beams for the partners for this forward mast to come in. So I'll put in a piece of Doug fir either side, and I'll let in two 10mm thick pieces of plywood in there, so that area of the partners there is 40mm of ply thick with those Doug fir beams either side. So we're just about to go next door, and I'll cut those. I've cut them to size and length, but I now want to cut the rebate on them so that Doug fir will sit in the rebate. The plywood will sit in the rebate. So that's what we're going to do now. Good. I'll do that one. A little tidy up on this one. Be a bit better, I think. Good. If you set your saw right, that wouldn't be necessary, that last bit, but there you go. Cut that okay. We'll do the job. So they're ready, rebaited. We'll set them in now and run a router along the edge of those deck beams. Give it a rebate there, then we'll cut the ply. Let's go next door. Looks good. Try that in a minute. One more. enough, no? That's good. From the side. We'll try that out, see what it looks like. That looks okay. In theory, if there's anything like right, that should fit in there. Fit in there. That one certainly does. That's about right. No. It's fine. Wasps everywhere. A bit like that. Something like that. Alright. Good. One. Four of them do. It's a bit risky, especially with coarse grained wood like that. That's how it goes, isn't it? Some need a bit more work than others. Work with your eyes. Okay, how's that one look? It needs a little bit, doesn't it? It wasn't quite as good as I thought it was. Look at it, it's a bit high on that corner. Good. Take them over and give them a go. Sorry. It's a little long, but both cases, but we're close, aren't we? Very, very close. Let's get down a millimetre or so. Reasonable. It's not plain enough. That's about right. Here we go then. Good. We'll go the whole way. Here we go again. Like that. Here we go. You can sneeze. Camera lens is covered in dust, I tell you how much. Yes, but we're done. So it's basically the end of the week now, and I'll show you where we are. You saw me cutting those longitudinal beams there for the mast partners, for the foremast partners. They're glued in. I've glued in 2 layers of 10mm or 3/8 of an inch ply there. I glassed with the light cloth the inside of it, and I say 2 layers in there, so that's nice and solid, 20mm thick now, and with another 2 layers of deck boarding coming over the top of there, brings it up to 40mm thick, obviously roughly 1.5 inches. That'll be nice and solid and strong for the foremast partners. Clearly a hole to be cut in there. The other thing I've done is I've cut fiberglass on the bottom and installed now these 2 pieces of the foredeck. They're glued and bronze nailed on, and I've cut the next one. It's in the other shed with the fiberglass epoxy drying. I've cut the next one, which comes out around there where this forward hatch comes in, and obviously progresses is the foredeck up to there, the first layer. So that's waiting to go on. And one other thing I've done, I don't know if you can lean through there, Karen. I'll go in here. Can you see me or not? I think you can. The other thing I've done is I put in one board for the portside settee, which is exciting. And plenty of storage under there. It's a nice wide settee, should be big enough to sleep on for a sea berth. And lots of storage underneath it I can see coming already. So that's very good, starting in this area. And that's where we are for now. So we'll cut. Yeah, so one other little project we've got on the go is the Pelican, and it was clear that we needed to firm up the floor of the boat a little bit. It's not very happy sat on the trailer, which is where it lives basically, so we decided to put another layer of 10mm 3/8 inch ply over the bottom of it. As you saw, Elizabeth, mainly speaking, sanded it off, and then we've cut this board and fitted it, and Elizabeth's done the fill-in around there, and it's looking quite good. Just waiting for a layer of glass cloth to come over it now, well, epoxy and glass cloth. Yeah, and then we'll paint her, and that'll be much more solid. That'll be good.
Riches in the sunset, standing at the sea. Tell me where you're going so decisively. What's your destination? Tell me where you're bound.